Hey guys, welcome back. We'll be playing Bayonetta and be doing chapter 7, the Cardinal Virtue of Temperance. Last episode we went through chapter 6. Basically at the end we were escorting the little girl through certain dangers, managed to defeat a couple of angels. At the very end, Luca decided to take the little girl because he distrusts Bayonetta so much, which Bayonetta kind of agreed to since both of them were basically holding her back from doing massive damage to her foes. So we don't have to do any escort missions, at least for right now. So we should have an easier time. But chapter 7 is basically a boss fight with one of the Cardinal Virtues. So let me just quickly see if I can change into another costume. Nope. No, I cannot. Well, I mean, I could, but now I'll be introducing another weapon to this fight. Probably not a good idea, considering this guy is actually very good at evading my attacks. So this is probably not going to end very well. I should be able to win, but barely. And hopefully we should be able to at least do the beginning portion of chapter 8 if everything goes well. So let's go to it. The Cardinal Virtue of Temperance. Basically, he controls Tempest, the storms and all that. Kind of weird considering these virtues tend to possess some type of element. But his is primarily wind. He's been causing quite a ruckus around here. This must be like a regular occurrence, considering that the Vigrid army didn't really seem concerned by the fact that there was a giant tornado just 100 feet away from them. Ooh, this guy looks so awkward. It's like a robot. Auditio, Temperenta. Auditio is just how the Cardinal Virtues call themselves. Alrighty. So basically, considering that he's up in the air, we're basically gonna have to use these little rocks as platforms to get to him.
They still haven't figured out that I don't give autographs.
Apparently, this guy has been charged with finding Bayonetta. So he's basically saying that Armageddon, the first Armageddon. So apparently there were worlds before this one, and some sort of huge war must have caused the universe to split into 3, which we will get to much later on. So the lore is very rich here. But the fact that there was other beings in another universe right before this one kind of confirms that these supernatural beings may not be the big bosses themselves, but might just be pawns of something much bigger. Similarly, Bayonetta is the exact same way. Well, at least that's what they consider her. Now, before we get into the fight, I'm going to switch my items a bit, change my costume. Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore. So as long as I have that weapon equipped, which means I will actually be switching to that weapon. I could use the Durgas. I kind of hate using them, however. So, I'm going to go for this one and switch out the... I'm only going to use one of them. I want to switch off my whip. Oh shoot. Now this is kind of awkward. You have to dodge. Now, don't worry if you're using a melee weapon and you fear that you can't really hit them, because as you can see, you don't need to use your magic gauge to use your long-range demon attacks. At least not for this chapter. So that should be fine. Okay. I believe Lieutenant Kilgore is actually just a bunch of bazookas. That's all it is. They're very slow, but they do deal a lot of damage. However, if you're not accustomed to fighting that in that fashion, not a really good move. Now, let me see if I can see Bayonetta from. Nah. I want to show off Bayonetta how she looks with the weapon. You can kind of see her right now, so I might keep this on for the next chapter just so you guys can look at her costume while she's using Lieutenant Kilgore's weapons. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so it's not a bad idea to interchange. You should probably get used to the idea of having to get used to changing weapons constantly based on the situation. Oh no. Now, if this happens where the platform breaks and there are no platforms, just fall. You won't die. You will immediately just respawn. However, there are parts of where if you fall, you will come back, but you will take lots of damage. Evade quickly. On his arm, use Panther because you don't have a lot of time. Oh, but as I said, he controls wind. So these wind angel ghosts, whatever they are, try to find his weak spot. There we go. Here it is. Be careful. Electricity will harm you. So there we go. Oh, Lieutenant Kilgore's weapon, slow but very powerful, which I kind of like for some particular bosses, especially since even though you can use speed to your advantage, you always have to evade at some points. So those few hits from Lieutenant Kilgore makes up for the fact that you're slow. Now for Tempesta, we will be summoning a new demon, one that is different from Alpha, I believe, that we summoned against Fortitude. This is actually a giant. I guess it might be based off Greek mythology's 100 face demon. No, the 100-handed ones. There were the giants in Greek mythology. There were giants, but there was also another group called the 100-headed ones because they had 100 heads. But they also had like a lot of arms, so these demons might actually be based off of them. That's my guess. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, just be careful. Witch time will not work, I believe, because these beings are that much more powerful. So witch time is just a cheap trick against them. Okay. Oh, gotta be careful with these guys. You know what? I'm just gonna go with speed and get this over with. Whoa! Okay. Quickly, dodge, jump. I prefer to jump, just not to use my evade, since I feel like it's better, since they don't go upwards. Now be careful, now you have some type of spirit attacking you if you get too close. I managed to dodge your attack, so I didn't take much damage. Alright. And again, we are basically taking off this spirit's limbs, similar to how we did to the other Cardinal Virtue. So obviously Bayonetta's weakening little by little, so that her demon can come in and just eradicate it in one fell swoop. Okay, now you don't want to go for the head. I believe there's something here. Yes, there's power up by these weird pimples-like things on his body. I mean, they're not supposed to be pimples. They're energy wars, but compare that to a person's actual body, I mean, that's what you would think it is. There you go, one eliminated. I don't think you can grab the actual body, so there you go. It immediately brings you to the next segment. Just be careful, they will charge with electricity. So, you have to get used to its attack pattern. But he's not the, out of the virtues, he's one of the weakest, I believe. Or at least for me, I always found him pretty weak. Since he doesn't have, like, you know, those annoying stall tactics. Or maybe it's because my battle style is more suited to this particular boss compared to, say, Fortitude's style of just burning the area and having to dodge everything. Yeah. Goodness. Pretty cool fight, to be honest. But he's not really putting up much of a fight. Now, I believe you could, in theory, go for the big part, but it has such a high defense, and if you take too long, Tempesta will just throw you off into the cliff. So this is the fastest way, I find. But I do believe you could just skip this whole part and just go for the actual body, but it's a lot more dangerous. I don't want to take the risk here. Oh boy, he's getting faster. Alright. His entire midriff is gone. So the barrier protecting him is pretty much dissipated. If it wasn't obvious enough. Now, this part, be careful. He will shoot laser beams. He's basically Cyclops from X-Men. But at the same time, he will also summon his ghost spirits to surround you. You can still attack him even during ghost spirit form. Ah, come on! This is actually dangerous. I'm gonna take the risk here. Oh, I have this. Never mind. I was actually gonna eat a yellow lollipop. Okay, slap him, slap him. This should only take two attempts, maybe 3 at most. Oh, oh boy, they come from the muff, so try to dodge that part as much as possible. Keep your distance, and you should be fine. But yeah, be careful. Because he's pretty much disgusting. Okay. This should be it. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, do more damage! I can do it! I can do it! No, this was a mistake! This was a mistake! This was a mistake! Mistake, mistake, mistake. I'm not gonna take the risk. Not at all. I'm just gonna eat this, make for certain that I'm not gonna die because I don't want to do this entire battle all over again. Finally, climax. And he's gonna get beaten up. Ooh. Yeah, these virtues don't have it easy. Bayonetta's just going up all at him. Ooh. Man, she made his face look like the Bionicles who had their mask on, but more grotesque. Ugh. Yeah, these parts always disgust me, to be honest. So cool though. Ah, this is awesome. He's trying to escape.
Order. Well, let me give you back your toy then.
Oh boy. Ooh. I feel kind of bad for these guys. I mean, they're not just getting killed; they're getting demolished. You haven't noticed that's gas. We're not sure who he is, but apparently it's probably the benefactor. Her eyes. That's making a reference to the fact that she might possess these one of the eyes of the world. However, he's kind of underestimating her own true power. What a disappointment. Oh! When I saw that the very first time, that exact segment where that bullet hits, I cringe. Like, I almost grabbed myself in that area because... Maybe because I'm just a guy, but... Whenever you see something hurt somebody else's privates, you just almost feel it. Aw. I guess you're gonna let the angel live. The little dog. Something about her past. All the Umber Witches are killed.
And I didn't make any time for pillow talk.
Even in serious situations, he's very charismatic. Ooh! he should have looked up. Oh well. Well, John really was here the whole time, but for whatever reason, she did not help her ally. So it kind of implies either she didn't really care about the angel, she doesn't really care what happens to them, or as long as her agenda is fulfilled, she doesn't care who she sacrifices. I always do well in combos and time, but I always mess up in damage. I need to really get better at that. My overall score is actually worse, so I'm just gonna not save. That actually took a while. It didn't feel like very long, but it was a pretty long fight, to be honest. More angel attack. Now let's see if I can go witch. Wait, back. Actually, can I find more of those? It's actually better to find those rare angels because you can get a lot of heroes, but it takes way too long. Wait. Shoot. I thought I had him. There we go. That was not a headshot. That is one of the instances that I would admit that should not have been a headshot because I believe I hit him around the chest area. Oh well. I'm not gonna complain about it. It's just kind of weird. Well, there goes chapter 7. And another of the virtues has been eliminated. So I guess we're now going to chapter 8. Route 660 or 666. Now, for a lot of people that may not know, 666 is considered to be a demonic number. This has nothing to do with Bayonetta. It's just apparently the name of the route, but obviously that's the reference. Now this segment is... I'm actually considering whether I should wait for the next episode to do this, but you know what, I'll give it a shot. If not, I'll just pause just when I feel like I should end the episode and continue back. The only reason I feel like that is because this segment is pretty long. Although it's one of my favorites, because I mean, if you haven't noticed, Route 666 is pretty much a highway. And what do you do in highways? But pretty much race. But you do have fighting segments, so don't get too comfortable. Vigrid, highway.
That bridge in these heels? Call a cab to get me
Again, that kind of makes me wonder why she wears heels. I personally would wear boots or hiking boots at least, maybe sneakers at the least. I never understood how women can walk in or even run in high heels. Like, they seem painful. But Bayonetta's not your average lady or witch, so I'm pretty sure she can handle it. Apparently, Luca managed to gain a military cruiser. For however, not exactly sure how he did that. So the highway is kind of just basing like there seems to be like a lot of military transport, but also like rich people. Like you see some of these vehicles aren't all military or cargo. Some of them are fancy vehicles, so clearly only the very rich people can go here. She's helping out Luca. Luca has no idea about that. He just thinks it's like a rare coincidence. Until the little girl is about to mention the fact that Bayonetta's the one that helped him out.
Did you see that? I told you there was nothing to worry about.
Mommy saved us.
What?
Hello.
Oh, he's freaking out.
It seems you're driving.
I don't care how freaked out you are, you should never take your eyes off the
I figured
road.
I'd beat you to the island, but the guards had another idea, didn't they? Not really my best plan, huh?
It would be interesting if we ever saw
Don't you?
this game, but from Luca's perspective, like, what did he go
You
through?
know, you're after
Like-
a gemstone, and that stone has to be in the
Like, that would be his own game, like, it would be like an Assassin's Creed, like, it wouldn't be supernatural beings, but maybe he could show off, like, him fighting off the military or a general or something. That'd be actually kind of interesting.
What am I? A chauffeur?
Cheshire, do you have any idea what prolonged walking in this salty air does to my hair?
Again with the
Well, I'll take
sarcasm.
you some product when I go to the beach.
That's right, people, wear product. The sun really is bad for your hair.
Little one, get
Whoa!
down.
Wonder why the military is shooting at
Down,
us.
Cheshire. I'll take care of our pest problem.
Wonderful.
Because they're actually, that's not the military at all. Those are actually angels. Now, I don't know exactly if the military realizes this. I mean, they can't see Bayonetta or the angels, but what are their thoughts when they hear like these gunshots?
Play hard to get.
Now, I want to keep Lieutenant Kilgore on, just so you know you can see a little bit more about it. Okay. Now, this segment, do not fool around. Because if you fall off the highway, you will have to restart whatever segment you're doing. And I believe that the angels might heal or even return. Now, this is kind of why I prefer to have the ability of Eagle, because as you can see, even though I was in the air, as long as you're fast enough, you should be able to activate it. And you can at least, you know, get back into the car. So as you can see with Lieutenant Kilgore, she's wearing some sort of a night like 1920s assassin's uniform with the top hat and, you know, your standard fare. Now this throws missiles if you want to hold any of the buttons. Oh, I love this song. It's too bad you don't really hear it. Okay, I can't even touch her in that form. Okay. Okay, but try to make a safe landing every time you get on top of these cars, because you could easily fall because you're not moving with the vehicles. Like if you don't do anything, you're going to literally fall off. I believe there's actually a faster way, but I prefer, you know, to get right there and personal with the enemy. Especially here, I'm not confident in leaving anything to chance. Okay, so those guys are over there. This guy's over here. Oh, it is so painful. Yeah, be careful, because if you get hit, it will cause you to fall down to the pavement. Bayonetta will get back, like she uses her supernatural, but you will take damage. And whatever angels you didn't beat, they're back at full power. So I recommend, this is one of the few stages that I do not recommend gun on. Any of your guns. Because if you accidentally get stuck on their shot range at the very side of one of these vehicles, you could fall off by accident. Now there are no invisible walls, so try to be careful with how much you're moving around. But there we go. I didn't do too bad. I took some damage. It was my combos. Since I couldn't really... I mean, I could have kept the fight going to them, but... I'm way too nervous. Now this is the part that I hate, especially in Lunatic mode. But it's just as bad even in this mode. Cars will continuously come from the right to the left in segments of maybe 3 seconds. So keep an eye out for the vehicles, but also keep an eye out for these enemies. It's not as difficult in normal mode, because there's only like 2, I believe. There's a car, coming car right now. Oh boy. You can't evade the car very well. Like it's kind of tricky how to evade. So if you're not confident, try not to do that. But it does damage the angels, so I mean, if you want to take the risk, I would at least not evade, I would jump. As you can see, I tried to evade right there. Did not work out as planned. Okay. And it, car, come on. But they jumped as well. They're getting too smart for their own good. Yeah, Lieutenant Crow was not very useful for these guys, but it does do damage, so... I hate it when I can't just evade whenever I feel like it. I don't believe I can use Wish Time here, either. Which makes this segment a pain in your rear. Like, imagine you just can't do Wish Time. Again, I do not recommend guns here because it makes it harder to pay attention to the vehicles that are coming. I am doing horribly here. Yeah, this is the reason why I never get like anything above a bronze award in this chapter. You could try to like focus them on this corner. Actually, that might be a good strategy. Okay, car. Actually, don't even. It's not even 2 seconds. Like every second. Okay. Yeah. Infinite Climax mode. This is I've never been able to beat it in Infinite Climax. I never got past this part because of this. Just this part alone. Because you have, I believe, 3 of these, but they're so strong. They do so much damage. And you have all these cars, and then if you get hit by a car and they're doing a combo, you basically are defenseless. You can lose half your health in just 1 second, just from that alone. As you can see, I took way too much damage. I'm not doing very well on that aspect. Here's a new enemy. I don't believe we've seen this so far. I don't think we'll see it after this chapter. Third Spear Irenic Principalities. Did I jump? I didn't jump! Oh my god, I blinked. I blinked. I shouldn't have blinked. Oh well. Please don't tell me I have to do that entire segment. But with that, guys, this episode... Oh wow, 25 minutes. Alright guys, I'm gonna end this episode off here. Next episode, hopefully I don't have to deal with those 3 goons anymore, and I just have to do that jumping segment. I should not have blinked. I blinked at the wrong time. But with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Bye.